also kind of in the comedy and spoof. Well, maybe more satire area. South Park debuts the same year, and that's had complete longevity and continued relevance, despite the fact that you and I were talking earlier. The first couple of seasons
it's a very, very different show.
It's very different, and actually, I think on a creator commentary, because they do that for all the South Park seasons. I believe it was Matt Stone who said that. They after the first episode, the Cartman gets an anal probe episode. That's the first episode of South Park, and they had said, yeah, we kind of threw too many dirty words, and they knew they had to find a balance there. And
I really respect that show for reinventing itself.
They really did. They took it from like a super crude place and kind of evolved it from there. And I think they did learn a lot. That you can tell even today with the newer seasons that they have learned a lot from themselves. They get a little more socially aware as far as different types of people do, queer people as well. They've really come a long way with that show. But in 1997, I forget which critic called it, but someone said it shouldn't have been made. They were like, "This show's so awful, it shouldn't have been made."
I watched it when it first came out, and while some of those things kind of made me go, ugh, they had me at Jesus and Pals. When Jesus was on the public access channel, I was sold.
Oh, yeah.
Just like this. I don't care what else happens on the show. This is brilliant. It was because yes, that was in your face, but they also found ways to make it sweet. And you do see the roots in those early seasons of some of what would become that kind of moralistic satire. When you had the Jesus versus Satan on pay-per-view, for example, and turns out Satan's betting on Jesus the whole time and throws the fight. That poke that they got so good at, where they pull you along for 21 minutes and then drive the knife in the 22nd. Yeah. You can see the seeds of that.
Yeah, and especially as they reinvented themselves, I feel like maybe this is not giving enough credit to other TV that came before it, but I do feel like this is the beginning, especially once they reinvented themselves. This is the beginning of TV starting to walk upright and be more thematically relevant, have more to say, and be a little bit less bubblegum entertainment solely. Because
maybe not TV, but certainly comedy.
Sure, absolutely.
Well,
I think that.
I mean, the Simpsons had been doing stuff like that where they were doing social commentary.
Sure,
for a
but I actually
while,
think that's an interesting comparison, because South Park came on when I was 12 or 13, and I love that it's these little kids that swear and they kill Kenny every episode. And it's a show that grew up with me. It's a show that now, unbelievably, 17 years later, it's. First of all, who'd have in a million years guessed that that's the show that would stick around and would still be here and would still be great. But it's a show that I can still watch it, and it's a completely different show, and it feels like it's always right for the time that it's in. Matt and Trey's ability to sort of nail that is incredible. And I don't know, Simpsons is what it is, Family Guy, but they don't do that in my opinion.
It's very hard to remain relevant in comedy in any form, and the fact they're able to do it on an animated show like this over so long a period.
Those old episodes. It's also easy to forget how South Park, man. At my freshman year of high school, 8th grade, around that time, 8th, 9th grade. Just T-shirts, shoes, it was everywhere. It was inescapable. It was one of those things that just became a merchandising phenomenon, which I don't know if the show, I haven't been in a Hot Topic in a decade, so what do I know? But
no, South Park is still really big. People really, and I think you brought up a good point. It's one of those things that, just to go back to the Simpsons comparison, because I don't think it's a fair comparison at all, because the Simpsons has definitely outgrown itself, whereas South Park knows how to grow with the rest of everybody who's watching it. So
that's so important.
I know in the year 2000, that's when they kind of started doing the 1 week to air kind of episodes. Before that, I think the first episode took them something like 3 months to make, because that was the cutout stop animation.
Yeah, they made by hand.
Made by hand, and then after the first episode, they did it with the computer. But when they do 1 week to air, that's how they stay so on top of current events and stuff like that. So I think that's probably to their credit. That's how they.
I agree. It was like a weekend. It was like the weekend funnies that are actually a satire of whatever's going on. Yeah.